Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. So my peers subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video in particular, we're going to be talking about and discussing the partial solar eclipse that's going to be occurring on March 29th, 2025. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about what it means for the world and the globe and the United States and everything all in between. I do hope you guys enjoyed today's video. So in this video is being recorded on none other than Friday, March 21st at 12:57 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, after when this specific video is being recorded. Now, if you want to help out the channel grow, you can do so by liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting the bell icon, or just engaging with the content. Help me help you, help everybody. So now let's just go ahead, let's begin, let's just see what's going on here. I want to keep my videos as short as possible, but I do want to extend my love and gratitude to all you guys who have been actively participating, watching my channel, been engaging with the content in some formality. Thank you all, and I really do appreciate every single one of you. So let's go ahead, let's begin. If you want to go follow or be able to find access to where I'm reading this, you can go to my YouTube page right here. You can go to my YouTube page. You can either choose to go to community or you can scroll to the top and hit post. So it's up to you. You can either hit post or community, and you're going to hit one of those and whatever option it gives you. And you're going to go to the first one. The first one is going to pop up with a message like this. And you're going to see that I posted this 11 days ago. You're going to hit read more, and it's going to give you all the information I'm telling you in today's video. So it's going to be very important that you have access to that, be able to read from it. What I did was I took the astrology, and I also inputted my intuition, what I got from my gut and my energy when I was reading. And we're going to talk about more about this in today's video. So I do hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have not watched my other videos, highly recommend you go and do so, especially with Elon and the Pentagon holds the debacle with the potentiality of the U.S. going to war with China. Definitely recommend you go ahead and watch that. Alright, so let's go ahead and begin. This video is just for entertainment purposes only and for educational purposes only as well. Everything I do or say in this video is just for alleged. Alright, so let's begin. I added some of my psychic challenge to this to enjoy recorded on March 9th, 2025 at 9:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. These are the key days to look out for. March 13th to the 14th, 2025 was already passed. The total solar lunar eclipse occurs alongside a blood moon. Go watch the blood moon video if you have not already done so already. I also did 2 videos for what it means for the US and the world, and also what it means for you specifically. So there's 2 videos. I'll put the link to those blood moon videos in the description below if you want to go check those out. Now, March 29, 2025 will mark a partial solar lunar eclipse. It will be a new day in Canada, which may mean something life-changing for the Canadians is happening around this point in time. March 30th, 2025, which is the day after, will mark the first time Neptune enters Aries. Last time this happened was April 11th, 1861, one day before the American Civil War began. When Neptune enters Aries, it's said to signal a time of action and purpose. Historically, Neptune and Aries have been linked to revolutionary causes and religious wars. Without certainty, Neptune and Aries in 2025 will lead to a new cultural landscape and call to action. Expect big action coming from the Vatican and White House around this time. Democrats and or Republicans may feel compelled to take an action. Countries that are neutral will be no more. Each will be forced to take a side. The Pope may die around this time, or a new vote for a Pope may start around this time period. A new agenda will be laid out for the world by a world leader. March 1st to April 12th, 2025 will mark when Venus enters retrograde and goes from being in Aries back to Pisces. This time period under Venus retrograde is where you can see toxic outcomes of people fighting and making up. We saw this with 45 and Zelensky hours of the interviews taking place in Venus retrograde. A reimbursement of an exile, topic, or person coming back from the past. Interesting. And I'll tell you why in a second. When this could relate to issues one talk about from the past, I'm seeing people like Putin and the Mueller report. Any sort of connection will be temporary, of course. Spending can be massive this month. This could mean that the congressional funding bill may be larger than ever or larger than normal. This is normally not a good idea financially long term. This period could provide a clear glimpse on how weak the economy truly is. It may even crash during this time. Lastly, old insecurities may arise during this time. Expect problems related to America's hidden past to reemerge and cause new issues. March 14th to April 16, 2025. Remark when Mercury enters retrograde and goes from being in Aries back into Pisces. When we enter this period, what's already begun, misinformation will be rampant during this time. AI may be contributing factors to this. This also includes any possibility of any election taking place around this time, slowness and lack of communication around health and disease to be expected. I'm getting hints around animal health related to foodborne illnesses. Technology may go down in some parts of the country due to accidents occurring. Expect more crashes to occur during this time, whether it's physical or metaphorical. Traveling during this time period is not advised. The White House may see 45 give his first press address to the nation regarding accidents, but may receive false information regarding them because people who are around him are afraid to be honest and upfront with him. Elon may be centered here in some way. If any scientific travel takes place here, expect something horrific to go wrong. So that is again from the middle of April to the beginning of March. It's kind of like where the energy is and where I read and intuitively guided everything. So it's very interesting. We talked about Neptune and Aries and specifically. We're going to be talking about all the information, see what comes up in the card, and then we're going to go from there. So let's go ahead, let's begin. I'll leave my phone there just in case I need to reference, because I'm going to be honest with you, my memory is short. Alright, so let's begin. That's a lot of information, I will admit, so I do apologize for you guys. Alright, so spirits and angels, tell me about what is going on in the world starting in 9 days from now, in 8 days really. On March 29th, 2025, what is going on globally? The energy is shifting. I'm going to be honest with you. The shift is coming. It's in 8 days. And if you have not watched my video, the one before this yesterday, you have to watch it. The bottom of the card here is the Ace of Wands. Okay. The reverse. And we have here the reverse, the Fool card reverse. What is going on in the world around this time? This is globally, by the way. This is global. This is not the United States. Let's take a look at the United States. We have here America Eclipse. There's no better way to talk about a solar eclipse than America, because America is at the center here. Okay, let's take a look. See what's going on. What is going on starting in 8 days from now on March 29th, 2025? In 8 days from now, a little bit more than a week. What's going on? When you're seeing this, it's only 7 days from now. This is in the United States, by the way. This is global United States. What is going on with the partial solar eclipse that occurring on March 29, 2025? What's going on? Three more cards. The US is definitely going to be doing something around this time. The bottom of the deck here, we have the Temperance, right? Setting the angel free. Setting the angel free. Then we have the Moon card, reveal. Something coming to light. Something coming to light. Whether it's an ambition, whether it's an intention, whatever it is, there is something coming to light here. Alright, so here's the United States. This is the globe. And then we're touched with 45 here. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's see. So the first card that comes in for the global aspect here is we have the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is reversed. The world is on edge. That's what it feels like. It feels like world tension is on edge. Around this point in time, the United States economy really starts to tank. Homelessness starts to rise. Services, people start to turn to services because they cannot provide for themselves. In some way, something's going on in the United States where people are going to have to look for other sources of food. Something going on around that point. Remember, the energy is lenient. It doesn't have to happen on the 29th, but this is what's happening after the 29th. So starting the 29th, this is the energy going forward. Here's the Nine of Cups, right? This is not a very good card for the United States. It means that people are starving. They cannot provide food for themselves, right? Here you have the Emperor. This is not a good card for 45, really. Here you have the Emperor. The reverse. The King falls. I'm hearing the Pope. There's something going on with the Pope around this time. Something going on with the Pope. Because remember I talked about in my 2025 video, talking about December, I talked about here being the, health will be sought by those who want it, an open path to wisdom and faith. Kings will fall, not one, but by the many. A new faith will emerge and reignite a passion in others. Okay, this is my channel on December 31st, 2024. Okay. Here, the world you seek will be met with diversity and adversity. Love all that will be, can be, and should be. The world will transform in matters of ilk. Thy truth shall be open. Happy New Year. May you rest solely. The world will transform. Please be prepared as you yourself will change. Right? We talked about this as well. The global experience is centerpiece for a moment, a breath, if you will, before a coming of age, a future that will define a decade and generation, a war perhaps. This war shall come at a time where we least expect it to. Heed your warning of the quote, be exiled. And if you have watched my other video talking about like Elon and the X, Elon owns a Twitter called X, right? The economy shall roar one last time this decade of the century. Many will survive and live to tell the tale of what has become before us, a life of bliss before the kiss. Trump shall be the trumpet that blows the new whistle of the new age, for that I have created him in his time to usher in a new age of darkness and of light. Harris shall seek a new path towards the presidency, for that she shall become. Biden will be known for his tranquility, stability, and peace in time of upheaval. Right? Diplomacy would not be of this earthly plane anymore, but by the many planes of existence. I forgot to mention that in my previous video. Hate will fill those who lack understanding of the world that they live in. Happiness will plague the world, while others will live in such desolate of such plague. Okay, so going back to that, it's the Emperor reversed, right? We talked about how the Emperor and the King fall, the Pope specifically. There's some energy here about the Vatican coming from the Emperor card. Here in the United States, while this time is ongoing, we have the Queen of Cups, the March. The rising just begins. It starts to rise. There's illumination being shined on the resistance, but it's not quite there just yet. It needs to build up. The energy is starting to build now. Here, as we start to enter into the Two of Swords, many will have to make a decision. Many will have to choose. You cannot be in the center anymore. You cannot be in the middle. You have to choose. So it seemed to be playing out exactly how I feel the energy was when I was doing the astrology reading and posting that on my community page. Underneath the Two of Swords here for the United States, we have the Ten of Swords reversed. The death of the United States is not here yet. It's not over. The United States had not yet collapsed. There is a fight still in the United States. So the U.S. is still going to not exactly turn over yet. It's not going to exactly turn just yet. Here at the same time, the crossing. What cards cross this? Well, we have the Hermit, Bernie Sanders, leading the way, the little birdie, leading the way. Remember that little bird that I spoke about when we were talking about Harris and whether or not she's going to run for president again? Bernie's standard is going to be that little bird. He is that birdie. He's leading the way. Bernie is the way. Here we also have in the Pisces. Now, if you guys don't know anything about salmon, when they're going upstream into fresh water, they tend to spawn in fresh water instead of salt water because that's where there's less predators. And by doing so, they go on a mission to essentially complete the last act of love toward the baby. They go into fresh water, but they go upstream. They don't eat, they don't do anything. They're on a mission to spawn the next generation. Essentially, they die. They're known as zombie salmon. They go upstream as zombie salmon, but they spawn a new generation, a continuation. When salmon go downwards into the ocean, it means that they are going to start a life, to start a journey, start a beginning, right? To be able to do stuff. That is what this means. The Pisces card here, challenging the 10 swords here, is very interesting. Now, we talked about Pisces before, so let's take a look and see where Pisces was mentioned in this thing here. So let's see. March 1st to April 12th will mark when Venus enters retrograde and goes back from being in Aries back into Pisces. So what's going on around this point in time in the United States? This time period under Venus retrograde is where you can see a toxic outcome, the people fighting, them making up. We saw this with 45 and Zelensky hours of the interview taking place in Venus retrograde. A reemergence of an exile topic or individual person coming back from the past. This could also be Elon. This could relate to issues one talked about from the past. I'm seeing people like Putin in the Mueller report, or any sort of corruption if even, or even like the impeachment. Any sort of connection will be temporary, of course. Spending can be massive this month. It can mean that the congressional funding bill may be larger than ever or even larger than normal. This is normally not a good idea financially long term. This time period could provide a clear glimpse on how weak the economy truly is. It may even crash. Lastly, old insecurities may arise during this time. Expect problems related to America's hidden path to reemerge in cards, new issue. Also, March 14th to April 16th will mark when Mercury enters retrograde and goes from being in Aries back into Pisces. So Pisces energy is very significant here. This is where Pisces is. We're already into Pisces already. When we enter, misinformation will be rampant during this time. AI may be a contributing factor to this. It also includes any possibility of any election taking place around this time. So misinformation with the election, then, the corruption within that. Slowness and lack of communication around health and disease is to be expected. I'm getting hints around animal health related to foodborne illnesses. Technology may go down in some parts of the country due to accidents occurring. Expect more crashes to occur during this time, whether it's physical or metaphorical. Traveling during this time period is not advised. The White House may see 45 give his first press address to the nation regarding accidents, but may receive false information regarding them because people who are around him are afraid to be honest and upfront with him. Elon may be centered here in some way. If any scientific travel takes place, you expect something horrific to go wrong. So this, and an aspect here, is that United States energy, right? Is that Bernie leads the way, but the 10 of swords reversed basically essentially emasculates that the United States is not yet over. The United States is still continuing its burden. That is just going to further amplify that. And here you have the Emperor, what's headed in the future card. He is the swamp. He is the swamp, the man who tarnishes the American flag while tweeting, and you see the flag basically being ripped off and the pole being sinking into the mudslide, right? So this is in the future card here, which is interesting because it means the Knight of Wands here for the globe. What does the Knight of Wands here mean? It means assistance. I'm hearing assistance, someone coming in pretty quickly. Something happened and the world in some way is shaken to the point where there needs to be a sense of assistance in some way. There's assistance here. The United States at this point start to gamble. They start to do something that has to do with gambling, whether that is physically gambling or gambling with nations or borders or policies, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. They're gambling or something. Something's being gambled in the United States. At the same point in time, you have two women down. Globally, we have the Queen of Pentacles, the economy. I think this is what it is. I think it's the economy. There's something going on here with the economy. It showed up in my Elon video. It showed up that the energy wasn't really there. It wasn't genuine. It wasn't real. It just felt like the war that they're trying to encapsulate or trying to create or manifest into reality was to try to boost up the economy by essentially not allowing the craft be used in the arm industry or the manufacturing weapon industry to prop up the economy. That's what it feels like. But however, that's not the case. It doesn't happen like that. Remember, if you watched that video, go watch it if you have not done so already. You understand this part of the video. The Queen of Pentacles is saying the global economy crashes. There's something going on with the economy in many nations, and it just goes down. There's something here that goes down, and here you have the United States specifically, because while the world countries only have one pentacle going down, the United States has 9. The United States is going to be the reason why a lot of countries enter a recession. The United States is going to enter right into a depression, whereas countries are going to enter into a recession. This is the 9 of coins. 2 women down, right? Now, this is interesting. The global aspect, the bully, the U.S. is not able to win whatever battle this is. Whatever the U.S. is around this point in time, the globe will succeed against 45 tyrants. Because this is how the U.S. is right now. The U.S. is feeling like a 9 of swords. Whether this is the people, or this is the military, or whether this is the administration, whatever this is in the United States, it feels like in some way something is not going according to plan in the United States. However, the world is sticking up for something. The world is standing up against the bully. So you'll wait and see what that means. But again, it's indicating standing up against the bully. Now let's take a look at the bottom of this deck here. The bottom of the deck is the Temperance card, releasing the angel. And the top of the deck here is the moon. Something coming to fruition. Something coming to fruition. Something being revealed. What's also significant too is on the top of the deck here we have the Fool card reversed. Not quite walking over the cliff, being very cautious about what you're doing globally. The bottom of the deck here is we have the Ace of Wands here, which means not trying to be very discerning, but it feels like in some way the world starts to push back against 45. That's what I'm getting in terms of the energy here. Is there anything else that we need to talk about, Spirit? Okay, they're telling me that this is going to be a part 1. They're going to tell me to touch upon the April part sometime soon. They told me when we get closer to April, probably sometime at the end of this month, we'll do another part of this video, part 2. We'll be talking about more specifically about April and what to expect in April. But it's saying I hit it right on now. So there's that. I hope you guys liked today's video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, peace out. I love you.